Why is your brain ordering another round of champagne while the ship is clearly taking on water? You are exhausted, your accounts are draining, yet you keep tapping the payment button. This is not a personal failure. It is a systemic, behavioral maladaptation. According to the March 2026 Fortunately Personal Finance Statistics Report, 29% of Americans now hold more credit card debt than they have in their emergency savings accounts, while the Federal Reserve Consumer Confidence Index scrapes the absolute bottom. Yet, in direct defiance of economic logic, spending on luxury and temporary experiences has spiked 12%. We call this paradox doom spending. Let us look at the hyperspecific reality of someone we will call Alex. Alex is 29 years old, earning a respectable $62,000 a year after taxes. But Alex is carrying $8,400 in credit card debt at a brutal 24% annual percentage rate. If we run the cold math on this, every single month, just the interest payment alone is $168. That $168 automatically extracted every 30 days costs Alex exactly 11 hours of stressful, exhausting labor. 11 hours of life energy, handed over just to maintain the privilege of being in debt. Logically, this mathematical reality should trigger an immediate lockdown on all non-essential capital allocation. Yet, last night, feeling entirely overwhelmed by this exact financial pressure, Alex double-clicked the side button on a smartphone and used Apple Pay to drop $350 on limited edition sneakers, followed by $200 on concert tickets. One tap, no friction. $550 gone in seconds. You must stop viewing this behavioral contradiction as a moral flaw. What you are experiencing is predictable human biology operating under the soothing paradox. Doom spending is a biological defense mechanism against systemic stress. When subjected to chronic financial burnout, your prefrontal cortex, the center for long-term logical calculation, reaches cognitive exhaustion. It simply shuts down. Your limbic system, the ancient emotional survival center, takes over the decision-making process. But the limbic system does not understand the mechanics of wealth building or compound interest. It only seeks immediate dopamine to numb the environmental friction. Your limbic system does not see a 24% negative compound interest rate operating in the background. It only sees the high-contrast orange of a buy now button on Amazon. Let us interrupt this biology with brutal mathematics. When your limbic system decides to buy an $8 iced latte for temporary comfort, it ignores the structural decay of your net worth. The architecture of the modern internet is explicitly designed to exploit this exact biological vulnerability. E-commerce platforms engineer zero-friction environments to eliminate every barrier between your limbic desire and the extraction of your capital. One-click checkouts and biometric payments are advanced behavioral designs built to bypass your logical review before your prefrontal cortex can even wake up. What is the macro-level trigger pushing an entire demographic into this state of cognitive exhaustion? Consider the macroeconomic data. The Federal Reserve maintains interest rates near 3.5%, but that is only half the equation. While the Fed holds rates at 3.5%, the real inflation of survival assets, like housing, is compounding at 9%. You are losing 5.5% of your life energy every year just by standing still. Let us analyze the mathematics of buying a starter home for a median earning worker today. Wage growth has fundamentally failed to keep pace with the skyrocketing cost of real estate and the massive premium on borrowed capital. The traditional long-term milestone of homeownership has become mathematically unviable for millions of working professionals. When a major long-term objective becomes mathematically impossible, human psychology adapts in a very dark way. The brain effectively cancels the future. Your neurological operating system shifts all of its remaining resources into optimizing the present moment. Behavioral economists define this as present bias overdrive. You realize that skipping a few dinners will not magically conjure a $100,000 down payment in a hostile, hyperinflated housing market. Because you cannot buy the house, you buy the $300 shoes. You buy the frictionless dopamine hit to feel a fleeting sense of control in an economy that has systematically priced you out of your own future. Listen to me carefully. If you want to survive this relentless wealth extraction, you must transition from a passive consumer to an active strategist. To defeat a frictionless system, you must artificially engineer cognitive friction. Step 1 is a strict digital audit. Go into your digital wallets, your Apple Pay, your Google Pay, and your browser autofill settings. Permanently delete every single saved credit card. Erase them all today. From this moment on, if you want to buy something online, you must physically stand up, find your wallet, pull out the physical card, and manually type out all 16 digits, the expiration date, and the 3-digit security code. This deliberate insertion of friction forces a crucial micropause. It demands just enough time for the logical center of your brain to boot up and ask if this purchase actually serves your long-term survival. Step 2. Leverages social dynamics. We will use peer pressure in your favor through a behavioral trend known as loud budgeting. The financial industry has long benefited from the social taboo of discussing money, keeping us isolated, embarrassed, and trapped in debt. Loud budgeting shatters this dynamic entirely. It is the strategic act of making your financial boundaries aggressively public. The next time a group chat suggests a luxury weekend trip, you do not make up a polite, evasive excuse. You state the cold, mathematical truth. You say, I am opting out of this trip because I am aggressively clearing high-interest debt and protecting my cash flow. By making your budget loud, you turn social friction into an impenetrable shield against wealth extraction. Financial discipline becomes a metric of undeniable strength rather than a point of shame. Defensive tactics alone cannot build long-term wealth. We must build a bridge to the future by utilizing dopamine rerouting. The goal is not to entirely suppress your biological urge to spend, which only leads to a stronger, more destructive binge later. Instead, we change the target of the transaction. We transform mindless consumption into addictive accumulation. The next time the intense urge for doom spending hits, do not fight the urge to open an app. Open a brokerage account instead. Now take that $50 you were about to spend on something that will end up in a landfill and execute a trade to buy fractional shares of an S&P 500 index fund. You are still clicking a button. You're still seeing a transaction go through. You still get the exact same dopamine release in your brain, but instead of trading your life energy for a depreciating consumer good, you are buying back tiny pieces of the top 500 most profitable corporations on Earth. You shift your identity from the consumer being extracted from to the owner collecting the extraction. Let us look at the mathematics of this behavioral shift. If Alex redirects that $168 in monthly interest, plus the $350 impulse spend, into an S&P 500 index fund at a 10% average historical return, the math changes the trajectory of a human life. In 20 years, those skipped concert tickets and sneakers transform into a $480,000 retirement floor. Tracking the compound interest of an index fund provides a far deeper, more sustainable biological reward than a temporary shipping confirmation email. Let us return to the cold reality of money. Money is stored life energy. It is the physical, numerical representation of your time, your profound focus, and your physical labor. Think back to Alex at the beginning of this breakdown. That $168 in interest was 11 hours of stolen life. Every single time you interrupt a doom-spending impulse, every single time you choose cognitive friction over a frictionless checkout, you are executing a tactical repurchase of your future free time. You are buying back your Tuesday afternoons. You are buying back your ability to sleep soundly without waking up in financial panic. The system is perfectly engineered to keep you exhausted, spending and trapped in an endless loop of short-term comfort at the ultimate cost of your long-term freedom. The mathematical reality is absolute, but your execution will fail unless you actively weaponize your digital environment. Before you make your next frictionless purchase, you must complete one final digital action. Hit the subscribe button to restructure your cash flow and master the behavioral economics of wealth. Stop buying things to soothe the pain of the present. Start buying your freedom for the future.